Welcome back to Proving God Without the Bible. This is video number 3, which means there were 2 videos prior to this one. In video number 1, I made the claim that God is real and we can make a very strong argument for his existence using reason, logic, and the evaluation of scientific data. In video 2, I gave you a rule and a tool with which to evaluate my claims. The rule was that truth exists and we can know truth. The tool was something called a logical argument. If you need more information on either of those, please go back to video number 2. In this video, I give you the first proof of God, which says that anything that has a beginning has a cause. The universe had a beginning, therefore the universe had a cause, a causer, or a beginninger. Now my word usage may not be totally correct, but I think you know what I mean. So let's look at our 2 truth statements. Anything that has a beginning has a cause. This is what is called the law of causality. It's a basic fundamental principle of science. Science is the search for causes. So I think we can feel fairly comfortable that that one is true. What about our second truth statement? The universe had a beginning. Again, I think we can feel fairly comfortable with that one because most of us have heard of the scientific principle called the Big Bang. But at the beginning of the 20th century, the early 1900s, many scientists believed the universe to be eternal. That was until a gentleman named Albert Einstein came along and he came up with something called the theory of relativity. His theory predicted a finite beginning to our universe. This made many scientists feel very uncomfortable. It made Einstein feel uncomfortable. In fact, it made him feel so uncomfortable that he did what many people do when faced with evidence that points in a direction other than a long-held belief. He fudged his results. He put in what's called a cosmological constant, so no matter how you used his formula, it always pointed to an eternal universe. There's only one problem with that. Truth does not change just because you're not comfortable with it, and truth kept popping up to Einstein and the people who were using his formula. His theory predicted small temperature fluctuations in outer space. That has been discovered. It predicted a background radiation from the initial explosion. That has been discovered. It predicted an expanding universe, which could not be seen with the naked eye at the time he came out with his theory. But in 1929, working with his friend Edwin Hubble at the Mount Wilson Observatory Telescope, Hubble had come up with an experiment to prove whether the universe was expanding or not using the red light spectrum. Einstein looked in the telescope, saw the red trail of lights coming off the stars and the planets, immediately realized he was looking at an expanding universe, and he had the following quote. Said he wanted to know how God created the world. I'm not interested in this or that phenomenon in the spectrum of this or that element. I want to know his thought. The rest are details. Einstein later called the cosmological constant the biggest blunder of his professional career. At one moment we had nothing. At the next moment we had our entire universe. Nothing, when you break the word down, is no thing. Aristotle said nothing is what rocks dream about. We have trouble getting our minds around what nothing is. Yet that is what we had. At one moment we had nothing. At the next moment we had our entire universe. We're left with 2 competing hypotheses. Either nothing made something out of nothing, or something made something out of nothing. Which one makes more sense? Again, the argument goes like this. Whenever you have a beginning, you have a cause. The universe had a beginning. Therefore, the universe had a cause, a causer, or a beginninger, and I believe that cause to be God. We're now ready for the second proof of God. I hope you watch the next video.